What's going on, boys? I'm Man Advantage and welcome to another NHL video. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down our thoughts, aka my thoughts on the NHL 22 beta / technical test. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's first talk about the feel of the gameplay, because at the end of the day, that's the biggest integral part to any sports game, and really any game in general, is the look and the feel and how it actually plays. In my personal opinion, NHL 22 just simply feels more authentic. And what I mean by that is it feels a lot less like a game and a lot more realistic. For example, the first thing is the passing. Now, a lot of people are upset about the passing in NHL 22. It seems as if you either can't get a puck on your stick quite as well, or passes just aren't as automatic and magnetic as they are in NHL 21. But keep in mind, a lot of the feedback for people in NHL 21 has been that the passing is too overpowered. And quite frankly, it has been, right? You could be in the middle of a lane or have two guys in the middle of a lane and somehow a pass still gets through you. There's nothing more frustrating defensively than not being able to even stop a pass that's cross crease. So in my personal opinion, NHL 22 and EA actually did a very good job of making that a lot more realistic, which in turn, I believe, will make the skill gap a lot wider for those that just spam pass and spam cross crease. They actually now have to make a good pass or make a better hockey IQ play in order to score goals. And I'm totally cool with that. The second thing that's very noticeable in this are the small touches that make a big difference. The first is the loop into the face-off. When I'd show you this, obviously I can't with how it's a closed technical test, but if you've played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Rather than the skater just skating up, they do a little loop before they go and take a face-off in the circle. And just small things like that make a huge difference as far as just the overall aesthetic of the game. It's not as bland as it's really been in the past in NHLs. Also, a lot of the new graphics that are on the ice or above the player are also very cool. At times they can be a bit distracting, but for the most part, you'll be able to turn those off. And I'm sure that EA will have more of those, of course, as the game itself is launched. The third thing I want to talk about are the graphics. Now, for me, I'm personally on Xbox One right now. I, in fact, have an Xbox Day One edition. So the graphics to me aren't too different, but overall, it seems to be very similar to NHL 21. However, from what I've seen on Xbox Series X and also PlayStation 5, the graphics are immensely different. So I'm finally hoping I can get my hands on one of those, as I'm sure if you're in the same boat as me, it's a little difficult to find one of those consoles. But hopefully, whenever the transition comes later this December in NHL, we'll be able to then move our team over to the next gen if you do decide to upgrade. But overall, it still looks very good. And the Frostbite engine is absolutely noticeable. As a reminder, there is a NHL 22 X Factor giveaway that I am running. The contest ends September 24th, but all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and click this video right here and it'll tell you all the details as far as how to enter. It takes less than 15 seconds, and right now there's less than 400 people that are signed up. So you have a 1 in 400 chance just about right now to win a copy of NHL 22 X Factor Edition for both yourself and your lucky friend. So go ahead and click that if you're interested. And again, if you've already pre-ordered NHL, then there's no harm, no foul. If you win, then you're gonna get it anyway. And if you don't win, well, nothing changes. So best of luck and thank you to all of those that have entered. And the fourth and final thing to take note of is, unfortunately, the only bad thing I have to say about it right now is that it's only World of Chel. Obviously, it's a beta, it's a closed technical test. This is not at all what it looks like as far as the completed project. Obviously, I would love HUT, but they haven't had that in the beta since NHL 17, I believe, so it's been a little while. But I was just hoping for some online versus to get a look and feel for how that actually would play. So it's very similar to what you'd be experiencing in HUT or pretty much any other game mode other than World of Chel itself. So that's the only downside I have. But as far as everything else is concerned, the menus look clean, the animations look new, they look clean. And overall, it just feels like a more, like I said, authentic, realistic game. It feels a lot more realistic and a lot less just like a game. So overall, I'm very happy with that, because my biggest complaint, as well as I know many others in the community's biggest complaint, was the fact that there's these repetitive glitch goals, these repetitive glitches. Passing just feels like it's too automatic and there's nothing I can do to stop it, right? If you learned how to play the game, where there was maybe those 3 to 4 things you can do that are always gonna be automatic as far as a goal is concerned, well, you're gonna win. But If they've watered those down now to the point where they're not as overpowered as possible, and there's multiple different ways to score goals, in fact, there's probably better ways to score goals and now ways to defend against those things, then I'm absolutely all for it. And I believe that's what EA's done here, although it's just the beta. So curious to see what your guys' thoughts are. Again, if you're excited for NHL 22, like myself, make sure you go ahead and like the video and subscribe. Again, I'm Man Advantage, and I'll see you next time.